are the first.
After a series of intriguing leaks, the next Assassin's Creed has been fully unveiled, and surprise surprise, it's set in ancient Egypt. After a year-long hiatus, Assassin's Creed certainly seems to be in rude health, introducing some pretty big changes, but just what can we pick out about Assassin's Creed Origins from the colourful but, let's face it, pretty brief demo? Well, settle yourself down, here come 7 new things in Assassin's Creed Origins. Number 1, a new protagonist. No real surprise here, to be honest, but Assassin's Creed Origins features a brand new assassin. One of the first, in fact, as Origins promises to tell the story of how the Assassin's Brotherhood all got started. Our new protagonist is Bayek, who is apparently the last of the Magi. Apologies to any hardcore fans of Brendan Fraser's The Mummy here, I realise that kind of messes with your canon. Anyway, according to Ubisoft, Bayek is kind of like an Egyptian sheriff, standing up to those who would attempt to corrupt Egypt's civilization, presumably by killing them in a variety of stylish and interesting ways. Number 2. That open world. As brief as our tour through ancient Egypt was, it didn't take a genius to see the Assassin's Creed Origins demo for the declaration of intent it was. Judging from the settlement teeming with NPCs going about their business, the contextual UI icons dotted about on screen, and the new compass tucked away at the top there, I'm getting some serious Witcher 3 vibes from the world of Assassin's Creed Origins. Assassin's Creed, of course, has long been a series about dashing across, up and over dense urban environments. Well, that and skimming your way across the high seas, but it looks like the assassins are finally being given a chance to roam across a big and varied open world. Some of the shots from the trailer certainly add to that impression, especially when you get the ships, the crocodiles, and the bloody camels involved, so here's hoping for a big wilderness to get lost in. Number 3. Loot. In previous Assassin's Creed games, you could buy new and improved gear from shops, and you could temporarily pick up weapons dropped by your enemies. But for the first time in Assassin's Creed Origins, your enemies will drop weapons for you to gleefully loot and make your own.
A fine bow.
As you can see from this legendary bow here, dropped weapons seem to be done on a rarity scale equivalent to other RPGs like Tom Clancy's The Division, which is pretty interesting to tell the truth. What this means in a real sense, of course, is number crunching, and just one glance at this equipment menu is enough to know Ubisoft is not mucking around here. I'm quite excited about this, to be honest. The trailer gives us a glimpse at a few different weapon types, including spears and Egyptian scythe swords, which I think are known as khopesh, so I'm looking forward to obsessing over all the lovely things I'm going to be pinching off corpses and giving to Bayek to wear. But then, of course, what's a loot system without... Number 4. A proper leveling system. Enemies in Assassin's Creed Origins don't just drop exciting loot with numbers attached, oh no, your ancient Egyptian adversaries also drop XP, allowing you to level up through the simple act of killing scores of people. It's another strong indicator Assassin's Creed Origins is pushing the RPG elements front and centre. In Assassin's Creed Syndicate, you may remember, XP was earned through doing activities such as missions, optional objectives, or any other of the countless things with which Ubisoft crammed the game map. This XP was used to buy ability points, with your ability points dictating your level. It worked fine as a system, but the problem was it was always encouraging you to go to the next map marker and do another pre-planned activity. Assassin's Creed Origins, however, completely turns this system on its head, with XP governing your level, and your level granting ability points. While it's still early days yet, of course, I'm pretty happy about this change. Having XP come to you organically through the simple act of taking out your enemies and, in all likelihood, a bunch of other minor activities, allows you to get stronger in your own way and at your own pace. It opens the game world up to exploration without making it all about chasing down those tiny icons, which, given Ubisoft's history with overstuffed game worlds, is a welcome change of pace. One thing that does seem very Ubisoft open world, however, is this. Number 5. Scouting the battlefield. If you've ever played an Assassin's Creed game or had a glance at what Michael Fassbender's been up to lately, you'll know how important the series considers climbing very tall things and bothering nesting eagles. In Assassin's Creed Origins, however, it seems at least some of your scouting duties have been made more dynamic, as Bayek has gone and got himself an eagle friend called Sinu. Sinu can be deployed at will in order to scout the area, tag enemies, and locate assassination targets. It's an interesting feature, seemingly doing away with eagle vision in favour of, you know, a literal eagle, and it's very in keeping with the kind of preparation is key gameplay we've seen from other recent Ubi games like Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Wildlands. Very, very in keeping, in fact, as Sinu is capable of stopping in mid-air and hovering about like a drone. Now, I'm no ornithologist, but I'm pretty sure eagles can't hover. Anyway, enough about preparing for combat. Let's talk about the actual fighting itself. Number 6, combat tweaks. The first kill we see Bayek pull off in the gameplay demo for Assassin's Creed Origins is this slow-motion arrow shot, which is very different indeed, although of course it should be noted projectile weapons are no stranger to Assassin's Creed on the whole. The interesting bowmanship doesn't stop there, however. As Bayek rushes in to assassinate his target, he quickly unleashes a volley of 3 arrows. This is a particularly cool detail, by the way, as Bayek is using an ancient archery technique documented in some ancient Egyptian paintings and recently revived by a guy named Lars Anderson. Basically, a cluster of arrows are held in the draw hand rather than the bow hand, allowing the archer to unleash a volley very, very swiftly while on the move, just as Bayek does here. So it seems Ubisoft once again has done its homework in terms of historical research. No real surprise there. After that, Bayek uses the same bow to fire 5 arrows at once, which I'm not sure is a thing in real life, and definitely less historically accurate than that is this bit, in which Bayek fires an arrow and then, guides it on its path to the target. Which is a bit weird, if you ask me.
Finally.
The hand-to-hand combat, meanwhile, is again a bit more RPG style and less typically Assassin's Creed, with quick steps and dodges flowing more smoothly into Bayek's attacks than the traditional lock-on and wait to counter gameplay we've seen in the past. Again, that's a very welcome change for me, although I have to admit, the slow-motion archery shot and the arrow guiding does have me a little bit worried. Both of these are very showy flourishes that, at least to me, seem at odds with the more in-depth RPG elements that are being introduced. It's a minor concern, of course, but nonetheless, it has me worried. Although, of course, if we are going to start talking about things running counter to a more realistic role-playing experience set in a historically accurate ancient Egypt, we'd be very silly indeed not to mention number 7, the giant snake. It's only a very brief glimpse in the trailer, partly because it's utterly mad, but Assassin's Creed Origins, in at least some guise, features an absolutely enormous and rather angry-looking snake. Not quite sure what to make of that, to be honest. We've also seen a few shots of tombs being explored, so are we going to see pyramids and other resting places taking the form of challenge dungeons? I have no idea, to be honest, but I couldn't very well make a video about the interesting things in Assassin's Creed Origins without mentioning the flaming great snake, and so I have. And that, friends, just about does it. So, what do you think about Assassin's Creed Origins? Doubtless you will have spotted some details I missed, so please feel free to share any insights you may have in the comments below. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, there are loads more for you to watch from Eurogamer, so do make sure you're subscribed to make sure you don't miss a thing from this year's E3. Thanks very much for watching, and have a lovely day.
Ah, Siwa, my home, the sacred oasis.
I thought he was dead.